38,000 people in the stadium. Raw blood, sweat, and real emotions. Then you take a few steps and come across this. The best shopping mall in the world. For me, a sterile hell that turns my stomach. I'm Freddie. This is Stavby. Today we're taking a look at Stary Browar. To understand the extent of the hypocrisy, we have to go back to 1844. That's when Ambrosius Hugger founded the brewery. Poznan was the industrial heart of the region. The brewery was an icon where people actually worked hard. For hundreds of years, beer was brewed here. The scent of malt and hops filled the air, and people created value here. The building survived wars, crises, and regimes. It stood there as a monument to craftsmanship. Then came the year 2003. Billionaire Grażyna Kulczyk arrived with a vision. Instead of demolition, she chose the path of adaptation, a concept that was revolutionary back then, but has unfortunately lost its luster today. Brick by brick, iron by iron, everything was cleaned and connected with glass. It was a triumph of renovation, no doubt about it. And you know what pisses me off the most about this? That the Poles pulled it off. They took a dilapidated industrial ruin that was headed for demolition and turned it into a place that won the award for the best shopping center in the world. And us? We're tearing things down at home. We're letting train stations, breweries, and factories fall into disrepair. We're building parking lots in places where something could have been built that people from all over Europe would come to see. The Poles did it. We didn't. Why? Still, I have to admit that the architects at APA Kuryelowicz and Associates did a job that even I, a cynic, have to tip my hat to. They preserved the spirit and added space. It was magnificent. But then capital got its hands on that space, had escalators built there that sliced through the space like a knife and erased the very soul they'd worked so hard to save. The original brewery became nothing more than a backdrop for selling cheap clothing. From an architectural standpoint, Stary Browar is a textbook example. Open atria, views spanning several floors that force you to look up so you don't buy what's on the ground floor. The combination of original industrial elements with modern escalators is simply bardzo ładne. It's a building that breathes. Light streams in through the huge glass roofs and reflects off the exposed brickwork, creating a visual play of shadows. Technologically, it was absolutely cutting edge at the time. The ventilation system, which had to handle thousands of people without making the space feel like a steamy greenhouse, is an engineering masterpiece. Everything was thought out down to the last detail. And that's exactly why it pisses me off so much. Because they built something that looks like a museum, but functions like a waiting room in hell. Stary Browar is a masterpiece in how to squeeze money out of you without you even noticing it's leaking from your pockets. It's a wallet trap where every brick in the wall costs as much as an overpriced latte. And that's exactly how most of our lives work. Our money disappears on subscriptions, on pointless fees, on things we don't need. If you don't want your budget to end up like an old brewery with nothing left but a facade, download Patron Go, an app that shows you where you're needlessly bleeding money. The link is in the description below. Save your money for something that has real value, like escaping this consumer trap. And now, let's be completely honest.
Everyone raves about how beautiful it is. But when you walk in there, what do you see? Crowds of people staring at their phones. People scrambling for discounts at chain stores that you'll find exactly the same in Prague, Paris, or some godforsaken place in Asia. Where's the art? Where's the culture? There are sculptures there, sure. There are installations, sure. But nobody cares. Everyone's just chowing down on those shitty wraps in the food court that taste like a cardboard box and trying to find an open outlet so they can charge their iPhones. It's a sterile hell wrapped in pretty packaging. The original brewery? That's just a backdrop.
The building is aging. Even the best concrete starts to crack after 20 years. Even the best brick begins to deteriorate under the weight of millions of people's breath. Stary Browar isn't as fresh as it was in 2003. Here and there, you can see a scratch. Here and there, you see faded paint. It's a building struggling with its own success. It's used so much that it's becoming a weary giant, mechanically opening and closing its gates to visitors who don't even notice the historic site they're standing on. It's a sad sight to see how time and crowds can destroy even the finest craftsmanship. Keeping such a colossus running requires more money than nostalgia can generate. So, what's the verdict? Architecturally, top-notch. Visually, stunning. But as a place to live, it's a simulator of decay. That's exactly why I hate modern architecture that tries to pretend it's more than just a building. Stary Browar is a monumental example of how we've managed to transform a brilliant historic building into the largest and most expensive consumer goods warehouse in Central Europe. Just another shopping mall, nothing more. If you want to go there to take pictures, go ahead. If you want to go there to spend money, go ahead. But don't kid yourself that it's anything more than that. It's just another mall, just with nicer bricks. Dziękuję bardzo. No one will see me there again. I'm Freddy. That was Stopby. And next time, we'll check out something that hopefully won't piss me off so much. Bye.